All right, quiet on the set.
All right, gotcha.
This weekend SEC football promo. Take 2. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your guy, Mr. Fingaz, coming to you live from Zagnif Central.
Hey, and I'm Collin P., your brother from another. What it is, showbiz?
I will tell you what it is, showbiz. You guys, welcome to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. But before we get started, do us a little favor. If you're watching us on the YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. We appreciate you much. And if you want to be a contributor to the show, a little something to help the cause, right down there in the bottom, in the lower third, in the crawl, rolling across your screen is the address for our Patreon page. We got some great perks for those of you that are contributors and regular viewers of the show, because we appreciate you so very, very much. So, Collin, my man, I think it's time to get this show started. What you say?
My man, let's lay the hammer down.
Oh, you know we gonna do something before 2 something. Club Shay coming right at you right after this. Oh, hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
What Bama does, what Bama do. They were giving Alabama like Alabama was this, and Alabama didn't lose their 2 stars.
Did not show up that day, or was it?
You watch the same
It's offense more like I've noticed it's more of a passing.
Hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's what I call it football. I mean,
oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper reel.
When you do that voice, I think of Norbert. Oh my God, we have a dandelion encrusted rib.
Hey gang, what's going on? Did you caught me trying to put my hat on? How y'all doing this?
Tried to beat it in.
Yeah, I tried to beat the camera. It's your boy, Mr. Fingaz, coming to you from Zagnif Central. What's going on with you? How are you? And welcome to this week's episode of This Week in SEC Football, Season 2, Episode 17. I'm your boy, the host with the most, Mr. Fingaz, coming to you from the heart of OKC. And that guy right over there, the brother from another, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. I am very happy to be here today. Very, very happy indeed. Yes, indeed. That guy right there is Collin P. from the DMV. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? What's going on? What it is, showbiz, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a really productive day at work, and actually it's been a pretty productive week. We got through the busiest part of our year, and now we kind of settling into our regular routine until the holidays, pretty much. So I'm doing pretty good, man. I am doing pretty good. So I'm glad to be here, man.
Me too, man. I had a great weekend. The folks came up to visit. They came up Saturday, and I had the B-Man this weekend as well. They left. My folks left this morning. But yeah, we had good family time. As they say, fun was had by all.
Well, that's good. That's what's up, man. That is what is up. We missed you, but we're glad that the B-Man is doing well. We missed you on last Thursday's show. But we're glad the B-Man is on the road to recovery.
He's good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's what's up. Look, I'm trying not to say absolutely because Nick called me out on that. Or actually, I put myself out because we were talking about everybody's catchphrases, and mine is.
Yeah, but then you made me think about it, and I say, a lot. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. So everybody's got either a saying or something that makes them stand out. And Nick and I spent like 20 minutes going through this whole list. And I'm like, yeah, and mine is absolutely. That's my thing. And I'm trying not to say that a lot now. And I can't help it. Because every time I give it absolutely. It's absolutely totally, man. It's totally dope. It's totally dope. So, yeah, y'all, we appreciate you being here today. And before we even get into it, we want to go ahead and send shouts out to our sponsors. We're working on getting some ads for them, some better ads for them. But that's DJG Enterprises, GreekGans.com. Envision Social Media, and 1906tees.com. But before we even get started, we definitely want to go ahead and get this knocked out early because, well, actually, I'll leave that. I'll leave that for now. But before we go another further, we want to send a shout out to all of the Let's Talk Family football. Let's talk family. Let's talk football family of podcasts. So why don't y'all hang tight and see where all you can find us all across the interwebs. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Oh, yes, my man, Usher Raymond says.
I do that. That's a pretty long list, man.
I'm hanging my head right now. You know why?
Why's that?
I'm wearing this exact same shirt in that promo. I didn't even realize it. I was like,
Are you really?
I'm wearing the same shirt. I gotta get some more gear, bro. They just dropped that promo 2 weeks ago, and I'm recycling the same shirt. That's a doggone shame. Man. Anyway, we go get into this thing, man. We'll get to our other show sponsor in just a little bit. But before we get moving, we got a couple pieces of news that dropped today. Number one being that TJ Finley, who is projected to be the starting quarterback of the Auburn Tigers. And if you've been following at all, you know his story. He kind of not Auburn. Yeah, at Auburn. He's the backup quarterback at Auburn. Sorry, he was the backup to Bo Nix. He wound up playing in the Iron Bowl. Guy showed all kinds of gut and grit. Not the greatest quarterback in the world, but showed all kinds of gut and grit. Took the Crimson Tide in the 4 overtimes, almost knocked them off. So, pretty impressive for a guy that, a lot of people were like, that he wasn't on anybody's radar. So he's pretty much projected to be their starting quarterback this year. He was arrested. Apparently he had some outstanding traffic tickets, and the police tried to pull him over. He was on a moped riding with no helmet, and he just took off, and they chased him. And they arrested.
And I'm thinking like they couldn't catch him. I'm like, how do you can't catch somebody on a moped? They had to put out a out.
Exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? You got the police vehicles, and they charged them up so in case they have to get into a high-speed chase or get from point A to point B in a short amount of time. Them suckers is carrying some heavy-duty hardware in the engines underneath the hood, man. You can't catch a moped. He just rolled by like, y'all ain't catching me. He riding on this thing. He's got a 2-cylinder engine powered by 2 Energizer AA batteries and a hamster just hyped up on crack, just running for his life.
It makes you wonder if they're like, all right, well, I'll just let him go home. We'll get him later.
Look, I think the only reason they arrested him because they was mad he made him look.
No doubt. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't show my face if I can't catch a moped, man. No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we'll keep track of that as that goes along. If there's any disciplinary action that takes place or anything, Coach Harsin said, of course, obviously he can't do that. No kidding, Coach. That's why ask me again why the athletic director and the boosters and the fans want you gone. You think?
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll keep track of that as that's going. The story I really wanted to talk to you about today, man, it was so crazy when I heard it. I thought the guys were just clowning on the radio, but I had to look it up for myself. So apparently South Carolina may be changing the name of their mascot. And they're one of the few teams that actually has a live mascot. His name is Sir Big Spurs, and they've had a live mascot since 2006. And what all the hullabaloo is for is that they were clipping the comb and the wattle, the little piece up under here, to make it resemble an actual game, the actual fighting chicken, right? And then they stopped doing that a few years back. I said, let's see. It said the various roosters proposed as Sir Big Spur 7 have intact combs. But here's the hullabaloo. Here's where the scuttlebutt comes in. The owners of the Big Spur name, the Sir Big Spur name, have decided that they're not going to let the school use the mascot name if they go back to cutting off the comb and the wattle. Now, from a scientific standpoint, I understand, because those are actually organs that help with blood circulation for the chicken and helps them cool off. So in a way, it's kind of like declawing a cat. I mean, it's part of what nature gave them to help them survive, because okay, they may be domesticated, but they're still animals, and if we weren't here, they would eat all that crap to survive. So they're having this big fit. They're like, if you start cutting them up again, we're not going to let you have the name. And school's like, we'll just change the name. And that, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of people that have jumped in and had stuff to say about this. The athletic directors had something to say about it. They put a story in the Charleston Post and Courier that says, "No more Sir Big Spur, controversy over Gamecock's live mascot ruffles feathers." And the whole key issue here is who owns the mascot. Like, seriously, you got 4 weeks. A training camp is starting this week all the way across the conference, and you got games in 4 weeks, and you're worried about who owns the name to a mascot that my understanding is they only show for about a combined total of 14, 15 seconds on the Jumbotron, and then you don't see him for the rest of the game. Wow. Like, seriously?
That's insane. This close to this the season starting. That reminds me of like what was Ace Ventura? When the dolphin trying to steal the dog, trying to mess up the game.
Snowflake. Here's Snowflake. Here's Snowflake. That's not Snowflake.
Did they ask for any recommendation or any suggestions for the name to be changed to, or
they don't have any. They don't have any. But there's another quote here, and I think this is from the athletic director. Says the owner said the school says we raise these Gamecocks to be mascots. Mascot needs to be, I feel, branded with the university. We also want the birds to be as healthy as possible. When the combs are off, they can't handle heat as well. These birds are raised to be mascots, and at many games, the heat is nearly unbearable. We want to keep the mascot healthy. That's our job right now. And the fuss is, I'm sorry, I had that backwards. The fuss is that the people that own the name say that the mascot should, if they're going to be a fighting Gamecock, then you need to cut off the top, the neck, and the comb, and in order for it to be a fighting Gamecock. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is not training camp, not football being back not college football being back in 4 weeks, not the Hall of Fame game being on television tonight, I believe, but that is your football news for today, straight out of South Carolina.
Goodness gracious. I mean, yeah, you did surprise me. You said you wanted to surprise me. You definitely did that. I didn't expect anything like that.
Like, what were you expecting, though?
Do what?
I said, what were you expecting me to come with? What do you think?
I had no idea, dude. If you keep something close to you, I have no idea. I know you, man. I know you better than you think I do. I don't know what you was going to say.
Okay. I thought maybe you had an idea what you thought I was. You said, I see the look on your face. Like, are we really talking about birds right now? Is that what's really going on? like seriously, man. I mean, South Carolina, all they have going on. I talked about them a couple of. Matter of fact, I think I talked about that with Sean last week. Is that they've got a second-year coach. They got Spencer Rattler coming in. They went out and got some wide receivers through the transfer portal to try and make the passing offense more potent. They're trying to shore up the offensive line. They're trying to get their running game going. They're trying to get their defense going, and all of that. This is what is going on in South Carolina right now. This is the most important sports news story coming out of Columbia right now. Will, if you're watching, shouts out to our boy Will. He's on live right now with our boy Sean Spencer doing Washington Football Weekly. Will, that's what's going on with your team right now. That's it. I know chickens don't gobble, but that's about the best impersonation I can give you. The chickens are good for one or two things: crowing in the morning and waking you up, or being on the Popeyes plate. Just saying.
There you go.
I'm from the South. I'm sorry. Fried chicken is good. No disrespect to anybody who's a vegan or a pescatarian or an animal activist. That stuff is good. There you go. All right.
I said, you're right. You're right. I don't turn down some gizzards or anything like that. I draw the line at chitlins.
Oh man, I haven't. You know what though? I haven't had gizzards in a minute. I might have to get me some next time I go home. I haven't had chicken gizzards in a long time. Yes, and the funny part is that you really can't. You gotta get all juice out of it first, and then you gotta crunch it up. But at least that's the way I eat them. Like you can't pick it up and start biting on it like a chicken tender.
I just put some hot sauce on it and let it go.
Man, speaking of biting into it, and then we're not going where you think I'm going with this for all of you people with those minds out there. You put that thought away. I stopped off on the way home, right? Long ride. I had a couple bottles of water, had to stop off. They got a restroom or whatever. And it's this place, it's a gas station, but they got a little thing in there called Chester's Chicken. Now, Chester's Chicken is pretty bomb, but I can never get any because it's always gone by the time I get off work around 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So I get in, and the lady's like, she's like, I got one piece of chicken left. I got a wing. She says, you want anything else with it? I was like, yeah, let me get some of those, whatever those are back there, those chicken tenders. She's like, no, those are jalapeno poppers. I was like, oh, bet. Let me get some.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the chicken wing, tore it up, gone. I bit into this jalapeno popper. I mean, no disrespect to the place, but that had to be the saddest set of jalapeno poppers ever. I basically bit into it, the rest of them, took the jalapeno out, chewed that up, and threw the coating out on the side of the road. Now, I was on a country road. I wasn't littering. I threw it out, so it's biodegradable. So some animal somewhere, some ants will take it off somewhere to their nest, and they will feed it to the queen or whatever. But yeah, horrible, man. I know, man. I mean, gas station food. I know. Gas station food is a crapshoot. Yes, I know. But they look so good, and the chicken is normally bomb. Like if you see a Chester's Chicken in Oklahoma City, you gotta hit them up because that chicken is normally off the hinges. But this was just, and the place is run by an Egyptian family, so they know a little something about throwing some flavor on it. So I'm just saying that's my disappointing gas station food story for the day.
Well, as you said, it is hit and miss because I mean, some gas stations got some good food. I mean, like their mom and pop spots are everywhere.
Oh yeah, down in the country,
really good. Yeah, we got a place in my hometown called Quick Chick, and it doesn't look like anything you see in KFC or Popeyes or anything, but it is the best chicken. I've not found anything better than Quick Chick chicken.
Man, there's a spot down the road from.
You might have to take a break. I'm hungry.
I know, right? And we ain't got no mustard or nothing. Where's the Tennessee fan when you need them? Get your popcorn ready. There's a spot down the street from my mother-in-law's church where they normally go down and get chicken for all of their get-togethers when they're down there. Because man, I mean, I tell you, when that's some good fried chicken, it's off the hinges. Yep. Off the hinges, gas station chicken.
Yes, sir.
I don't trust everything. And then there's the 7-Eleven over in Gainesville off Limestone up the street from Jiffy Lube.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in there in the mornings when they first start putting them out, their hot wings are bomb. I used to always, before I would hit the route, because I would get in the truck before I went to deliver mail, I'd make sure I had gas, and then I would stock up on my Gatorade and all that stuff, and then I would always get a 6-piece of hot wings, an egg roll, and whatever snacks I could get that wouldn't melt in the hot sun. But I always got at least 6. And if I bit in the first one was good, I'd be like, let me get 6 more. Let me get 6 more. These fresh, let me get 12. Let me get 12.
Back there.
Now, a chain spot that's decent, depending on which store you hit, is Sheetz. The Sheetz out in South Riding was pretty dope when I lived out there because That's what me and Lou would stop over there and get sandwiches on the way home from
Empty
Sully's.
no. Yeah.
Not Sully's, Firehouse. Yeah. Shout out to the Firehouse Grill, the end of an institution. I hate it. Anyway, we need to get into some football. We didn't come on here to talk about Fusi. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm thinking about what I'm ordering.
I'm hungry, though.
So we're going to go ahead and – I know, right? Now I'm hungry because I don't believe I ate anything today other than that wing and that one jalapeno is basically what it boiled down to. But let's see. It was 6 of them, and they cut them in half. So I had 3 jalapenos and a chicken wing. So I'm going to have to give myself something to eat tonight. Anyway, keeping this thing moving forward, we're going to get into it. Our teams of the week this week, you see it down there in the crawl. We're going to be talking about the Florida Gators and the Arkansas Razorbacks. So we're going to try and go through this pretty quickly because we don't want the show to run uber long. But I guess let's start with, oh my God, I just said Gators twice and I said I couldn't say that name. I said it 3 times now. Let's go ahead and start with let's start with the Razorbacks, man. The Razorbacks finished 4-4 last year in the conference. They were 9-4 overall. They finished 3rd in the West. Their camp starts tomorrow. Their coach, Sam Pittman, by the way, for those of you that have watched the show at all, I misspoke when I said Mike Leach. He's not the coach at Arkansas. Sam Pittman is. Coach Sam Pittman seems very optimistic going into camp. Good Lord. Of course, I'm scrolling too fast. He's a 3rd-year coach. They finished the season with a 24-10 win in the Outback Bowl over Penn State. And now they have a target on their backs because Arkansas, there were a few things that were fairly certain in SEC football, fairly certain in the world. Death, taxes, and Vanderbilt and Arkansas were going to suck in the West. And they kind of caught everybody off guard. But now everybody's going to be gunning for them. They got KJ Jefferson back there, the dual threat quarterback. The West is still loaded because we don't know what Ole Miss is coming back with after losing Matt Corral, but they still had a high-powered offense. And then, of course, you got Alabama, and everybody knows Bama is loading up. They are loading all the way up. It's like they're loading up like Neo and Trinity loaded up to go rescue Morpheus from that building. Guns, lots of guns. They're coming. So basically, he said that they've made full use of the transfer portal. They actually pulled Matt Landers from Georgia. He said that he's really impressed with him and his work ethic. Yet he's excited to see what he does in camp. And then they got their season opener. They're playing Cincinnati. For those of you that didn't watch college football at all last year, Cincinnati surprised everybody, becoming the first group of 5 team to make the college football playoff in its current 4-team format. Of course, we know how that went, but Cincinnati was doggone near unstoppable. And aside from Desmond Ridder, they're pretty much reloading. They're coming. He said that he was he's looking forward to seeing what Malik Hornsby's going to do, playing wide receiver, and their backup quarterback who they threw in there, who held it down when KJ got hurt. So I'm gonna come to you. Like, what are your thoughts on Arkansas this season and just their overall potential? Do you think they have a shot at making some noise in the West this year? Maybe winning a couple more games this year that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they get a really good shot at it. That's going to be a telltale game. Opening up against Cincinnati, I'll probably watch that game. This should be a good game. But like you said before, in the transfer portal, they made heavy use of that, and they've got some good players. I mean, they've got, just to name a couple on defense, you got Landon Jackson and Dwight McLaughlin, from LSU. Landon's the defensive end, and McLaughlin is the cornerback. So I think that what the coach said is they were kind of lacking in those positions, so they seem to have filled the void or filled the position they needed through the transport portal. So I think they made good use of that. So I think that's going to play a big part in their success. I mean, I think they're going to be better than they were last year. Aside from Mista, steps here or there.
Yeah, well, that would mean that they have the potential to maybe finish second in the West. I mean, God forbid they jump up and knock Alabama upside the head. That would shake up the entire West because everybody has got Alabama. I mean, I'm not even a Bama fan, but I know what Bama can do. I respect the program. I'm not a fan, but I respect the program, and I am fully expecting them to come out cracking heads this season. So,
absolutely. But you heard Saban last year was it was a rebuilding year for them. They made
right. Listen, oh my God, that blew my mind when I saw that foolishness. You saw I posted that, right?
Yeah.
Only Nick Saban can have a team that won their division, won their conference, went to their second consecutive college football playoff in consecutive years. The second game they lost all season was in the national championship, had his quarterback win a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
His 2-star wide receivers was such studs that even with late season injuries, they both got drafted. One of them in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Only Nick, and he turns around and says, "Well, it was a rebuilding season." Only Nick Saban can say some foolishness like that, man.
Yeah. Did you hear what Paul Feinbaum said? Paul Feinbaum says, what did he say? I can't remember what he said. He said something funny. I can't remember right now, though. He said something hilarious. He said, only Nick Saban, and that's true. Only he would say something like that.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and shoot an air horn out for Nick Saban. He gets the air horn for that. Because only Nick Saban can say some craziness like that. Now, the funny thing about Malik Hornsby playing wide receivers, he's their number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
But coaches got all confidence in him being out, getting out there and sparking up some offense when he's not, under center. Because chances are pretty good he's not going to get a lot of time under center. Because now here's the key for Arkansas, I think. KJ Jefferson, like Matt Corral, was Arkansas's leading passer, like Matt Corral at Ole Miss. Was Arkansas's leading passer and Arkansas's leading rusher. He combined for a total of 3,300 yards of offense.
Wow.
Out of 5,742, he combined for 3,300 of that by himself. By himself, either with his arm or with his legs. Okay. I'm looking at the depth chart. I believe. Wait a minute. Hold on. Just looking at the depth chart and seeing that Treylon Burks is coming back because he was their leading wide receiver. No, he went in the draft. That's right. Treylon Burks went in the draft. So who they got coming back? They've got Kentron Jackson Jr. is a sophomore. Warren Thompson, who is a senior transfer. Their slot receiver, they got Jaden Hazelwood. So that's what they have there. And then at running back, they've got Raheem Sanders and Dominique Johnson. Now, we know that they weren't really known for their running game just because of the fact that KJ Jefferson ran for most yards last year. So be interesting to see if he's going to get a lot of production on the ground, or if he's going to actually be able to stand back in the pocket. That would be nice if he would just be able to stand back in the pocket and do what he does. He actually could be pretty dangerous. So coming to you, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that surprised me. How many 3,300 yards out of 5,000 yards is on?
Yeah, 3,300 out of 57, almost 58.
Yeah.
So we rounded up to 58. So that means that he was 3/5, 60% of their offense.
Yeah,
generated by him.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it depends on, like you said, it'd be nice if he could sit back in the pocket and make his checks, find open receiver. He has that kind of protection. I don't know if they have that kind of protection. I mean, what do you think about their offensive line? I mean,
from what I can see on the depth chart, it looks like they're bringing a lot of guys back. They got a couple of they got a couple of transfers in. They brought in Dave Saunders as a junior transfer, and Latavius Brini as their offensive. I'm sorry, that's the defense. My bad. My bad. Looks like they're bringing most of their guys back. The biggest one, I mean, they're going to have to. That's a big thing. They're going to have to do something about their offensive line because, there's a reason why KJ Jefferson ran for 600 yards as a quarterback. Now, I know a lot of that was designed runs, but still, you want to be able to keep your quarterback healthy. And one of the biggest ways, we've seen it time and time again, all the way back to Slash, Randall Cunningham, Rodney Peete, oh my Lord, Donovan McNabb, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and the list goes on and on and on. Lamar Jackson. Your quarterbacks do not stay healthy if they have to run all the time, especially if they're taking hits. You know what I mean? That's more wear and tear on their bodies. They should be able to stand in the pocket and either hand the ball off or stand in the pocket and toss and throw the ball. Maybe every now and again a little quarterback sneak. Now I have the hiccups. That's just absolutely awesome. So he said that the biggest thing about winning, Sam Pittman did, he said the biggest thing about them that they have to do is they have to start winning practice. Now, that sounds a little bit like Bruce Allen, who very famously said, who is still a segment on the Grant and Danny show on WJFK, winning off the field. That sounds a lot like winning off the field, but he's right. They have to come together in practice. A little hard to tell. I got to be honest. It's hard to tell how good your offense and your defense is in practice because you're playing against each other and you don't want to tear each other up. So there's only so much coach will let you do. So pad on pad.
And another thing, you got to be able to take that, work you've done on the practice field to the football field on game day.
Field. Absolutely. And there it is. I said it again. Doggone it. I'm going to start playing the air horn every time I say that word.
Hey, just to let you know, it's storming here. So if I cut out, that's what it is. So
okay. No, we're all good, bro. Your boy will persevere. We will soldier on. See what I did there? But yeah, you definitely have to take that onto the practice field, especially when your first game out of the gate is against a team that just was in the college football playoff.
Right.
Seriously.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for that game against Cincinnati. I want to see where's that game at? Is it
It's in Arkansas. It's in Fayetteville. So this is what we're looking at for Arkansas. And the keys for them, they were 27th in defense. It wasn't too terribly bad. They allowed 441.7 yards a game. 57-42. My bad. You know what? Oh, that's their offense. I'm sorry. Their defense was ranked 50th. They allowed 4,780 yards, 5.1 yards per play, and 367.7 yards a game. So that's not too terribly bad. They're kind of a middle-of-the-pack defense out of the 130 in D1. That's not bad, but they really have got to step that up. They're in the West. They're playing Alabama, who can get you on the ground and in the air. You're playing Ole Miss, who can probably still get you in the air, if not on the ground, because Matt Corral is gone. You've got Auburn, and depending on which Auburn show up, you might get knocked upside the head there. And you also have LSU, who we look to see big improvement from with Brian Kelly being there. They're not going to be – I don't think they're going to be returned back to world-beating form they were in the championship year, but they're definitely not going to be as sloppy as they were last season. So I think the keys to them they definitely got to get more production out of their defense, more takeaways, more sacks, more fumbles. Their offense is go ahead.
They try to get that. Sorry, they try to get that with the transfer portal. They try to alleviate some of that hurt. So we look to see a big improvement there.
Yeah. Now their offense, they were ranked number 27th overall, which is not bad at all. Because now you're talking easing your way into the top 25%. That's where the 57-42 came from total. Not a bad total at all over the course of 13 games. And they were averaging 441.7 yards a game, which is, if you split it down the middle, is not a bad day. But you think about the fact that KJ Jefferson probably did 2/3 of that per game. So, I mean, and that's the thing, is you don't want to have that one guy that is your end-all be-all, because if any team worth their salt will figure out a way to focus on that guy, and if you shut him down, he has no more weapons. So that's one of the things that I'm for Arkansas' sake, that I hope the Pittman's working on, so that they have other weapons, other weapons to bring to the table, so that if everybody keys up on KJ, I anticipate a lot of people throwing a spy out there, in the front line of linebackers. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to be somebody, either that or they're going to put somebody that's always going to drop back. If KJ drops back, I'm dropping back into coverage just to make sure he doesn't take off. So
absolutely, yep, I agree with that totally. Yeah.
And one of the things that Coach Pittman was saying is that they really need to work on. They need to identify who they need edge rushers. That's become all the talk. He said they don't need to be blitzing every play, but we need a good edge rusher. We need to be able to, identify who we can designate as that guy, because that makes a world of difference. So yeah, that's Arkansas, the Razorbacks. I think they're going to be. I think at worst they will be exactly where they were last year. I think at best they may steal a couple of games. They may steal a couple games and wind up 10-2. That's max what I'm giving them this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was
at. That's just my projections. We're going to go through the schedule in a minute, but that's just my projections.
Yeah, I mean, I got them 9-3, maybe 9-3.
9-3.
Maybe they'll hit that. Yeah, maybe they'll hit that 10 win. I mean, that remains to be seen. But I kind of think they'll be better than last year. I mean, I think at the best they'll be 9-3.
Okay. Well, we're going to jump into the schedule here, but like I said, we have some other sponsors of the show who we greatly appreciate, and there's no other big sponsor of this show other than one of our own, again, from the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. He's gotten himself into his own venture, and you might be interested. You, even the most casual football fan, might be interested. So why don't you guys hang tight and check this out, and we will be right back in just a second. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's our guy, Sid Swinton. He is on Let's Talk Football in the mornings on Sunday. He also twice a week runs a show on @SquidRipsCards. You can see it right down there in the crawl on TikTok twice a week. Football cards for everybody. You should see some of the collections my friends are already starting to amass to go with what they already have. And he's also gotten some folks back in an old hobby of collecting football cards. So go hit my man up at @SquidRipsCards. On TikTok, he's also on Facebook under Squid Ribs Cards. That's my man Sid Squinton. Go holler at him today. Thank you for being a sponsor of This Week in SEC Football. Moving on along, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick it over to the other team that – oh, wait, no, we got to go through the schedule. I'm sorry. We had to go through the schedule first. Good. That means y'all just going to have to wait some longer. Y'all going to have to wait. What the hell is wait some longer?
Wait some longer.
I just made something up. You're gonna have to wait some longer. That's yep. You've been waiting. I know you've been waiting, boo boo, but you're just gonna have to wait some longer. That's all it is. That's all it is. You just have to wait a little longer till we get to you guys. I'm still mad at y'all for 1988. Anyway, yeah. So game number 1 for the Arkansas Razorbacks, week 1. They take on Cincinnati. I'm putting that one down for L. I don't know. It kind of depends on who they have replacing Desmond at quarterback, but I'm putting them down for L. I think Cincinnati still has something to prove from last year. We talk about lightning in a bottle a lot, so we don't know if it was lightning in a bottle or not, but that's their second consecutive season that they have just really, really just about run it. They literally ran the table en route to the college football playoff, and there really was no denying them. There's no way the committee could put them out. So I know that Arkansas has come a long way. I still think they have a little bit more to go before they can run with some of the so-called big boys. I know they're a Power 5 school, but they play pretty impressive. Well, actually, I take that. You know what? But They got a little ways to go before they can actually be called the big boys. But I think they're looking to make a statement win in week 1 just because they want to. I think they want to run it back. So I'm giving them a loss. What you got?
I can understand that. I'm gonna give them a win. I think they're gonna win. It might be close, but since it's at home, Fayetteville, I think they're gonna find a way to win this game. It may be close, but field goal, overtime, don't know.
Oh yeah, you really
yes, sir.
Down like that? Man, now I'm looking for my other notes. See, this is that's why I keep them laying around so I don't lose them. Let's see who you got here. That's Kentucky. That is the Falcons, so we don't need that because we're not talking pro football today. Bear with me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Show prep. It's always awesome. I know I got my win-loss list over here. I just want to make sure I stay on top of them. Those are our games to watch. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. I wanted to make sure I had South Carolina out because they're playing South Carolina next. I had South Carolina losing. I had Arkansas winning that game, so I'm sticking with that.
All right.
You had them losing too. You had Arkansas. You had Arkansas winning that game. So
I'll stick with that. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
All right, they're playing Missouri State. That's a win.
That's a win. Yep.
Texas A&M. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a barn burner, bro. I think you know what. I think this is gonna be their statement win right here. I think Pittman pulls a win. He gets the guys to pull the win off.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. I think A&M. That's a loss.
Okay. Let's see. They take on Bama. I'm going to give them a loss there.
Yep.
Mississippi State. We talked about Mississippi State. Mississippi State is not going to do an awful heck of a lot. And I have yeah, I'm going to give Arkansas the win there.
What did I give them last time?
I don't remember. We talked about Mississippi State, but I don't have their whatchamacallits here. We may have to go back through that because I have to do the spreadsheet anyway.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'll go with a win there.
Another statement win. I got them beating BYU. That's their next game. They're going to be at BYU. I got them winning that game.
Yeah, I got them winning that game as well. Yeah.
Let's see. Next up is against Auburn. At this point, we're pushing into the season. I don't know what Auburn's bringing to the table. I talked about Auburn. I am going to say Arkansas wins that game.
It kind of depends on what Finley, what kind of what they hand down on him, if anything. If they had kind of suspension, I don't know. That's kind of late in the year. If any kind of suspension, he may be back on the field if they give him anything. Yeah, I'll give Auburn. I give Auburn a win on that. I give it L for Arkansas.
Okay. You saying Auburn's going to win?
Yeah.
Oh, I got Arkansas winning that game. You said Auburn's going to win, so you're giving Arkansas the loss.
Yep.
Okay. They play Liberty the following week. That's a win.
That's a win.
They're playing LSU the following week. I think there's going to be a tight fought battle. Brian Kelly's going to have these guys. Depends on how well he has them conditioned. It could go either way. I'm going to give them a loss because at that point, they're going to be a little worn.
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard to say what Brian Kelly. I think they're going to have him on LSU on the move. Yeah, I'll give him another loss. I give Arkansas that loss there.
Okay. I got them. Their final game is at Missouri, and I'm going to give them a win there. I'll come back to the game prior to that. So what do you say about Mizzou?
Yeah, I give Arkansas the win.
Now, the game the week before is against Ole Miss. Again, we don't know what Matt Corral is going to do. We don't know where they're going to be by the end of the season. I'm giving Arkansas a win on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they'll win. I'll win that game.
So, I've got them at. I got them at 10-3. Like I said, I said I'd give them 10-3, and that's about max.
Yeah.
Now, of these 3 losses, I think they have the potential to beat LSU, and I think they also could beat Cincinnati. I mean, they play Bama. Every year they play Bama, they play Auburn, they played, the West has been known as the big brother to the East, with Georgia being the lone exception the last 5-6 years. But yeah, I think they could win that one. I mean, there's potential here. I don't think they'll beat Bama, but they got the potential here to go 11-1. Like I said, big shakeup in the West, and you've got them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got them at 8-5, which would be a fallback from last year, but still respectable for Arkansas. For Arkansas to put together 2 8-win seasons would be impressive. I would be 100% on board with that. I would be 100% on board with that. So we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, to our next team, the team that Collin and I both have no love for, and anybody that knows what the 404, the 912, the Gold Dome on City Hall, or Friday nights at the Varsity is all about, hates with a passion. This is just as big, if not bigger, than that team up north versus that team down south. This is bigger than the Egg Bowl. This is bigger than the Iron Bowl. This is the game that should have been called Good, Clean, Old-Fashioned Hate. Instead, they call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, just because, good God. And I don't know. Look, I still say what I said about last year.
Yeah.
Duval County ain't nothing to play with. I don't know if I trust going down there the way folk cut up.
It's fun, though. You got to behave yourself and get away from the trouble.
Yeah. So here we go, and we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, those guys, the Gators. They like to do all this. Yeah, go sit down somewhere. So they've got first-year coach Billy Napier. Their camp started yesterday. If you recall, last year they went 2-6 in the conference. They were 6-7 overall. Their really poor performance last year led to the firing of their coach, whose name I can't remember. He was so bad he's been gone, and I can't even remember his name.
Oh, shit,
I
can't remember.
Oh God, we're both horrible. Isn't that bad? Florida Gators coach 2020. What was his name? His name was Dan Mullen. There we go.
Yeah, there you go, Dan Mullen. That's right.
God, that's horrible. We couldn't even remember Dan Mullen. He was so bad we couldn't even remember his name. Anyway, their offense surprisingly was ranked 15th. And just for frame of record, just to give you guys a little something good to feel about, Florida fans, for those of you that are south of your big brother, your really bigger brother that just won that heavy ring and that trophy, that trophy and that ring, that big brother, that one. Just to make you feel good, you did have the 15th ranked offense in D1 football last year, and which was 11 spots, surprisingly better than Georgia. Georgia only had a 26th ranked offense. Now, I'm not using this as an excuse or anything like that, but the defense the biggest reason for that is because our defense was ranked so good, we didn't really have to march that far down the field. Right. We did not have to take any drives, and very rarely did we have to drive all the way down the field and score unless we were receiving a kickoff or a punt.
Exactly.
So, 15th ranked offense. They racked up 6,017 yards of total offense, 6.6 yards per play, 462.8 yards per game. Their defense was ranked 51st, however. Here's the dichotomy. Their defense was ranked 51st on the total opposite end of the spectrum. They allowed 478.2 yards per game, 5.98 yards per attempt, and 367.8 yards a game. Now, I'm no mathematic. Oh my God, I just made another one. I just made a yo, I might talk with a stuffy nose because y'all think I'm sick. I would tell you 2 + 2 is 5, but I ain't no mathematic. Mr. Fingaz, #bars. Anyway, I'm no mathematician. You like that? You like that? That's an original right there.
$1 million song right there.
Yeah. Oh my God, I need the air horn. There it is. I'm no mathematician. Haha, I got it right this time. But you can't allow your opponents to mass up 10 more yards than you per game on average and expect to win. You're going to have to figure out a way to shut that down. So your defense, they really, really got to shore up their defense. And looking at what they've got here, I know they had a lot of transfers out of the portal, but it looks like they're returning quite a few guys. But their defense is still really young. Their depth chart has 3 seniors, 3 returning seniors, and 1 senior transfer. Benton Cox Jr. This doesn't tell us where any of these guys transferred from. But they're returning most of their guys on defense, both on the line and in the secondary. But God, they're going to have to do something.
The big thing on defense that may help them in the long run is that Napier brought over Tommy, which they both coached at Louisiana, right? And Raging Cajuns. So they brought over a defensive coordinator that has coached under Napier before. And one thing that I was actually reading, and I did I see that? I might have seen it on TV, but they're going to utilize a creeper, like a creeper DB, not a DB, but a linebacker. They're going to mix up their packages where you're going to think this guy's going to rush, and then he's going to fall back. It's a different type of coaching that Tommy brings to the table. So that's how they're trying to fix the defense that performed so poorly last year. So that's the only thing they're trying to do there. I'm anxious to see that. I mean, it's kind of a high risk option, in a defense. Because if you get caught when you pants down.
Yeah.
But it should help out.
But you also have to understand though, when you finish the season, only won 2 games in your conference, and you're playing in the East. So let's be real about it. In the East, the 2 toughest teams anybody had to play all season was Georgia and Kentucky last year. You finished 2-6 in conference, and you finished second to last in the division. And you got to step it up. You mean to tell South Carolina you couldn't pin down South Carolina? You couldn't pin down Missouri? You couldn't pin down Tennessee? Tennessee was the team with the most potential. It was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde all season with what they had going on. And you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? Mr. Sean Spencer's in the building, fresh off of a live recording of Washington Football Weekly, the godfather of the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. Thank you for stopping through, sir. This week in SEC football, hosted by your boy, Mr. Fingaz, and a brother from another, Collin Pete from the DMV.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they really had to show up that they gotta do something about the defense.
So that record, have they ever been? I don't want to say that bad, but have they ever had that kind of a record in the SEC? I don't remember them being 2 and
that bad. Not in my lifetime. I don't remember them ever being that bad because they went from they had Spurrier, and then they had your boy from Ohio State, who wound up going to Urban Meyer. And so, they kind of had a good run of good coaching there. Maybe not good people, but it was undeniable. The results that they brought out were undeniable. But I don't recall them ever being that, since I've been following college football like that, I don't recall Florida ever being.
Me either. I'm just wondering if they checked out, in the half the season. I don't know. To lose some of those games, you got to wonder if they, the players just like, all right, what the hell with it,
Well, biggest thing I think that they suffered from was there was this whole distraction all season of the two quarterback deal. Like we're gonna play two quarterbacks to see which one is a better quarterback. You know what I mean? So now they've gotten it down to where they've decided that Anthony Richardson is the guy, and they're gonna stick with him at quarterback. And again, I'll say the same thing I said about KJ Jefferson. They've got to figure out a way to make it so that he can be a pocket passer. Because again, this is another guy that generated a whole bunch of offense for his squad. This is a guy that generated a whole bunch of offense for his squad. I'm sorry, he didn't generate a bunch of offense, but Emory Jones did. So Emory Jones was their starting quarterback last year, and Emory Jones put together 3,400 yards of total offense, just like KJ Jefferson. So if Anthony Richardson can get it done, if they can figure out a way to just keep him contained, because if they can figure out a way to keep Anthony Richardson in the pocket, and he ran for 401 yards last year, and that's a lot for a quarterback.
That's a lot, yeah, absolutely, it's a lot for a quarterback.
Stay in the pocket, get it done. His completion rating was not quite as good as Emory Jones. Now, Emory Jones had 64.7, he had 59.4, but his attempts, his average per pass was almost, he had not by much. Emory Jones was 7.9 and Anthony Richardson was 8.3. But even with him having not nearly as many snaps, he still threw for 6 touchdowns. Emory Richardson threw for 2,700 yards. He threw for 5 times more touchdowns, but he only, he threw 19. He threw for 2,700 yards, but only threw 19 touchdowns. And Anthony Richardson threw 6 touchdowns on way less attempts. So they can keep him in the pocket. I think he can get it done if he stays in the pocket. And like I said, their camp started yesterday. And Billy Napier said the biggest thing, it starts with defense. It starts with discipline. It starts with discipline, but everybody doing everything the right way and doing the same thing. That's basically what it comes down to. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Knowing your assignments. Okay, you picking up this guy, I'm picking up this guy. You stay at home. If it's a pass, y'all stay at home. Y'all cover everything short. We're going to drop back in the coverage. It's a run. Everybody's mashing to the line. All bodies flying all the way around. Put a body on the ball.
It seems to me they need somebody to step up, kind of like the Kobe Dean. Like he knew where everybody's supposed to be. He knew, on the defensive side of the ball, he knew where every other player was supposed to be at all times. As well as knowing where he's supposed to be. Like every time the play started, he knew you need to be over here. You need to be over here. If somebody was in the wrong spot, set up wrong, he would tell them. And I think the biggest thing for them, along with discipline and that kind of stuff, but you need a leader on the actually on both sides of the ball with more defense, like you said. You need a leader on that side of the ball to get everybody in shape and where they need to be.
Right. So here's what the strength and conditioning coordinator, because they asked everybody what does discipline mean. The strength and coordinator guy, Mark Hawk, said, "We could talk discipline for an hour, but I'm going to spare you. But the best quote I have on discipline is from Mike Tyson. He said, "You got to do things you hate to do, like you love doing them." Man, that's a good quote right there. That, you know what? That's a bar right there. That gets an air horn. Yo, Mark Hott, even though you a coach on a team I hate, that's a bar right there. Matter of fact, you get another horn for that. There we go.
I'll give you.
Hey, yo, check this out. Peep this. I give you 3 guesses what the name of their co-defensive coordinator, D-line coach name is.
D-line coach? 3 guesses? I ain't even got one. Was it his real name or is
You're gonna laugh when you hear it.
Maybe.
His name is Sean Spencer. And that's no BS. No. Yeah. Sean Spencer, if you out there watch Sean Spencer, let me find out all this time. You've been working undercover for the enemy. That's why you was always throwing shade. That's why you was throwing shade at Georgia, talking about Michigan was gonna beat them in the college football playoff. I wonder how he could afford to have all that time off to be doing all these shows. He making that big hey. Why don't you go ahead and throw some of that Florida Gator money my way so I can go ahead and take this trip to Georgia on your dime? Right. You're not gonna get me to wear no blue. You're not gonna get me to wear no blue and orange. But anyway, Basically, he said that you have to come into a program, establish discipline, be consistent with what you talk about and what you're expecting them to do. Then you got to hold them to a standard, and if they don't do it, then there's got to be a consequence. And the consequence has got to be one such that they don't mess it up. Like what kind of consequence? I'll tell you what kind of consequence. If you fumble the ball, God help you, I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts, and then you will run a mile. So anyway, I'm gonna have to find that clip. Man. I love that clip. That's gonna be one of my clips along with the Utah Utes. Yes, the Utes are coming back, y'all. The Ute is coming back. Bama does what Bama do is coming back too.
There you go.
So
raising kids, man. He's like, if you don't do what I say, it's consequences. Consequences and repercussions.
What's repercussions? Uh-oh.
It's the people that play the drums in the band.
You special. You are special. That's my man Collin P for the DMV right there, y'all. Give it a air horn one time. There it is. So Coach Napier's coming in. They're really getting it. I mean, you got a first-year coach. You got a program that's really has fallen very far. You got an apple that fell from the tree and rolled very far from the tree in what they are traditionally and what they're used to in terms of production and the quality of their program. And so, he's got Chris Thomas coming back. He was a signee in the class of 2021 who only played in one game as a true freshman, but he has definitely made his way into the roster as a mainstay. They got a newcomer named Ricky Pearsall who transferred in from Arizona State. He got some cramps, but then he went back out. They said he got himself some Gatorade, worked it out, and was right back out on the field. So we're already starting to see that kind of dedication in some of these players that they're seeing out there in pre-camps, the mini camps that they've been out there so far in workouts. So it sounds like they're doing all the right things, but you know me, I always, like I say, pad on pad is what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. Pad on pad when they start hitting each other. And so what you got on that, man?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it all boils down to pad on pad, like you said. But I mean, it is, it all comes down to buy-in in the system. I mean, coach on down, you got a coaching staff has got to buy into what the head coach is selling and what he's trying to do, and as well as the players. And like you said, the player you just mentioned about going out back on the field after dealing with some cramp and stuff, dedication, that's another thing. But I really think they're gonna improve this year just for having Tommy and different kind of defensive schemes they run and that kind of stuff that we probably people in the teams in the SEC may not have seen before. So I mean, they better be ready. I mean, they don't want to get caught on our heels,
Yeah, because this is one that gives people a chance to. This is one where there might be some games that last year with Mullen, Florida might if Mullen was still coached that they might lose. That with Napier that they might win. So yeah, and we're gonna go through the schedule here in just a second, so you guys can get our picks and see what we think. But I'm looking at what I got here, and there's a couple of sneakers there's a couple that might sneak up on somebody because every team that's been in the dumpster the year before gets a sneaky win the following season, except for maybe the Lions and the Browns. And I know that we're talking that's pro football, but those are two teams that I can think of that either ran the table completely on the opposite direction or came very close to doing so. Right. So yeah, but college football, it's like Sean has been saying, any given Saturday, things can happen Saturday or Thursday or Friday, depending on where they got you playing. If you're on that gridiron, you have every play that you have is an opportunity to swing a game in the opposite direction. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much time is on the clock, whether it's 3 quarters or whether it's 13 seconds. Just ask the Dallas Cowboys. I said that out loud, and I said that out loud with my whole chest. Come at me, bro. All you Cowboy fans. I'm posting this so y'all can see it. Anyway, any given Saturday. So let's go through this schedule real quick. And yes, I know I said it before, the sweepstakes is over, but we've got gear. This fine cap right here. It's courtesy of Zagnif Apparel, established in 2001, making their way very slowly into the mainstream and becoming a mainstay, at least at my house, in terms of athletic gear and wear. The website is right down there in the lower corner, in the lower right-hand corner underneath Collin. You can either visit the website or you can hit the QR code, swing on over there, get yourself some nice gear. We've got ball caps, t-shirts, tank tops. Ladies, we got the flowery tank tops with the racerback or whatever it is that y'all like. I have no idea what that is. There's leggings, there's yoga shorts, there's joggers, there's even sneakers, there's skull caps and hoodies. So you want it, we got it, and they come in multiple colors and designs. Some of them have the logo on it, some of them have the circular logo with the fire on it. Go over there and get yourself a little something today. So we're gonna jump into the schedule here, and then we're gonna move on into our next segment after that. So first game of the season, Florida welcomes. And I'm so mad I didn't cue this up when I saw this. They welcome the Utes of Utah.
Oh.
This is a game that could go either way. I think Napier, because Utah, as you remember, Utah shook up the world in the Pac-12 last year. They upset a couple of They upset a couple teams they should not have beaten, based on what the other teams were built up. So they're bringing in Utah, but I think Napier's got them coached up enough. I think Napier has the boys coached up, and that's number 3. Hit the air horn for Mr. Fingaz because he cannot talk today. So we got wait more longer. We got mathematic, and now we got could be coached up. But I'm giving Florida the win on that one. What you got, Collin?
Yes, sir. I give them the win as well.
All right. The following week is against Kentucky. Yeah, that's gonna be tight because you got Mark Stoops and his much improved Wildcats. I've got the schedule over here somewhere. I'll have to double check it, but I think I gave Kentucky the win in that one, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to stick with that one and say that Kentucky wins that one, but not by a heck of a lot. It's going to be a close one. So I'm giving Florida the L on that one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll give them the loss up there as well. I think they're much more improved.
Following week against the University of South Florida, I want to say that's a win. I think they start to find a little bit of a rhythm in week 3, and they come out with a win, even though the Bulls have been known to be an exceptionally competitive Group of 5 school. I caught that one. No air horn for you. I caught that. You know what?
Nope.
Hit the air horn one more time for the Mr. Fingaz mistake. There we go.
No flag.
No flag on the play, but you still get the horn anyway. Did you say that was a win or a loss for Florida there?
For Florida, it would be a win.
Okay. Following week, they play the Mustard Throwers.
Ooh.
I'll let you give me yours first. I guess I got to think about it.
You know what? I think Tennessee's going to take it. I think Tennessee. I think Lane's going to.
You do? Seriously? Okay. Yeah, all right. All right. Just for grins and giggles, I go the opposite direction. I'll give Florida the win, which puts them at 3-1 right now, which is, man, kind of, sort of, they weren't so bad off by the time we played each other. The following week, they play Eastern Washington. I'm definitely going with the win there. That's not even a group of 5. That's like an F. That's not even a group of 5. That's a D2, something like that. What you got?
Yeah, I'm giving a dub. Give him a W.
Okay. I'm going to give them the dub against Missouri the following week also. Missouri, I'm sorry. If there's any Missouri fans watching, y'all have yet to impress me mightily since Drew Lock left. I mean, you had the quarterback, you Tyler Beatty at running back. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with the win there. You know how I feel about it.
LSU, I think Brian Kelly gets a win here, so I'm giving Florida the loss.
You know what? Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think LSU's going to get them. Yeah, there's a loss.
Yep. The next game is the game that we all mark on our calendars as soon as the schedule comes out. The game that everybody loves to talk about, whether they've been there or not. The game that has accounted for more arrests between SEC fans for fights in the parking lot and drunk in public and indecent exposure than any other SEC game every year.
That's true.
You're talking about when do you say that? Like, you did I hit a nerve? You said that's true.
You didn't know. I just said it's true. I said it sounded like you were making it up, but you ain't making it up. It's true. It's all true.
Oh, okay, I thought you were speaking with personal
It's
experience.
all
My
true.
bad. We talk about the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, the rivalry to beat all rivalries in the SEC. The Dogs, or should I say, the returning national champion Dogs, versus them other guys from down south. I'm gonna go ahead and put Georgia on the win on this one.
That's a good call. That's I'll take that as well. I'll give them the dub.
And I tell you why. I think Napier. I think this season is going to be kind of a learning process for Napier. He's going to have a ton of film to study because, when the team wins a national championship, that's all anybody does is immediately checks their schedule. Do we play them next year? Yes, we do. Let's study game film. But you got a whole new crop of guys coming in defensively. You don't know what schemes Kirby's going to be running. You don't know. You don't have a lot on the running backs because the two primary running backs of the three primary running backs last year, 2 went in the draft. 1 was injured early in the season. So you don't have, and then, you got the incoming freshman. So we shall see. Right. So I'm going with the W there. Texas A&M, that's a loss.
Yeah, I agree there. That's a loss.
Next week against South Carolina, I give them a dub there. Shane Beamer's not quite ready for that yet.
Yeah, I agree there. How was that? Yep.
I mean, that's a loss for South Carolina, not for Florida.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. That's a win.
The following week is a win against Vanderbilt. Poor Vanderbilt. There's got to be a win in there somewhere for him. By the time I get around to doing Vanderbilt, it's going to be a 10-minute segment. And you just go, these are the games Vandy might win. These are the games Vandy is definitely going to lose. And then the final game of the season is going to be against the Seminoles of Florida State. I think they get an L there because I'm looking for Florida State. I think they get an L, man. I think Florida State comes back strong this year. Not super strong, right. not like Arkansas came back this past year strong, but I think FSU is going to get at least 7 or 8 wins this year.
They won last year, didn't they? Didn't they beat Florida last year, or did they? I can't remember.
I don't even know because both of them were so horrible.
They were bad.
I don't even.
FSU was bad.
Dude, I don't even remember, man. That's bad. Let's see. And so now you get to watch your two hosts Google.
Google's your friend. I think.
Yeah, the Gators pulled it out last year, 24-21. Gators wound up finishing up the season 6-7 overall because they were bowl eligible and they lost their bowl. But Florida State wound up 5. Florida State was tremendously bad last year.
Yeah,
they were.
I got Florida winning that. So Florida's winning that game.
You got Florida winning that one. Okay, so let's go through here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. Wow, that's a heck of a comeback. I got them at 8-4. I might need to take another look at that. And then on your end, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. You got them at 8-4 also. That is a heck of a comeback. That's a heck of a comeback. I was thinking more of a 7-5. I was thinking maybe they improved by 1 game, but 8-4 with Billy Napier, that is entirely possible. So,
I just think the defense is going to be what kind of propels them up to be a better team this year. I just think it's going to be that tandem with Tommy and Napier. We'll just see what happens.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but we definitely, one thing we know, we coming for you again this year, Gators. Snap, snap. I'm just saying.
We're going to the Georgia-Florida game, not the Florida-Georgia game.
Right. So. And we're starting a petition to change the name since everybody thinks that they can petition about dumb stuff too. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are. So this year I've got Arkansas potentially going 10-3. Collin's got them at 8-5. We both have Florida finishing up the season at 8-4. It is shaping up to be an potentially interesting season this year in the conference. Whole bunch of new coaching faces, transfer portal changes, coaching staff changes. It might be, to pardon the pun, it might be a little bit of a dogfight this season. I mean, you're gonna have somebody who's gonna be, you're gonna have your elites in each division, but I think at the lower echelon, there's gonna be a whole lot more dogfighting this year.
Yeah, and you got all these head coaches coming from different conferences, putting different kind of packages and whatever. I mean, packages we may not have seen. Like I said before, the SEC may not have seen some of the stuff they're going to throw at us. So these coaches coming from different conferences, so could be interesting.
Oh my God! Seriously, I've been talking all
Yeah,
this time. You should have said something, man.
I was trying to do this. I sent you a text.
Yeah, I just got the text. I've been sitting here this whole Mr. Fingaz with the technical throwback for having a muted mic and one more. All right. Take two. I know what my 2-minute warning is going to be about. Let's try this again. Mr. Fingaz, take two. All right. We want to thank you guys for being loyal watchers and subscribers of the show. And we appreciate you guys. Every like, every share, every comment, sending us the messages and letting us know you're digging what we're doing. Right now, we got 23 subscribers on our YouTube page, which is Zagnif Productions Zagnif1. That's the official YouTube page. The reason that we don't broadcast live from that page is because we don't have enough subscribers yet to be able to go live. So this is our goal. We want to hit that 100 subscriber mark by week 4 of this year's college football season, and we need your help to do it. So make sure if you see us on, give it a share. If you see us on, make sure you give it a like, and then make sure you give it a share. And if you're not already subscribed, give it a subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Send them over our way. Send them to the YouTube page. Tell them to check us out. Zagnif Productions, Zagnif1. I'm going to put some graphics on this after this whole thing is done. This was kind of spur of the moment. It wasn't part of the plan. So that's why I don't have the graphics prepared right now. But anyway, yes, we want to hit a 100 subscriber mark by the 4th week of the NCAA college football season. And we want to continue to grow. And we want to continue to grow and build. So we thank you guys for supporting us so far. We're 17 episodes in, and we haven't even gotten into the meat of the season yet because there hadn't been a single game played. We're the only podcast. We're not knocking any of the other podcasts. We're the only podcast in the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. I think, unless I could be wrong. But I believe we're the only one, the only show. There have been some shows that have been running, but we're the only show that has kept going since college football has been over. So we want you guys to jump in. We need your help. Thank you so much. I did a whole bunch of talking. Now I'm going to have to cut and paste this 8 ways for Sunday. Air horn for Mr. Fingaz talking too much. There we go. I told you I'm not too mathematic. Anyway, our 2-minute warning. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The 2-minute warning is where we give you a little something to chew the fat to go into the rest of your week until we get back with you on Monday again. Something to just a little nugget to take with you. I got something, but it's not quite there yet. I'm gonna hand it to you.
All right. Yeah. No. All right. Well, I just came off of a good visit from my family and everything, and so I just want to put it out there. Enjoy the time with your family if you got them around, and that kind of stuff. I enjoy it when they come up to visit. Along with my son. And also it's been very hot, so make sure you stay hydrated. And it's, even though we're from Georgia, I still
drink water.
Man, I'm still not used to the heat. Like the humidity in Northern Virginia is about the same as in Georgia. But it's.
Oh, you tell a damn lie. You tell a damn lie.
I mean, we got 4 seasons up here. Down there we got hot and damn hot. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Right. Like seriously, I find it hard to believe that anybody from the state of Georgia could ever drown because we spend at least a good 2 months out of the year inhaling water all day. The humidity is so thick.
That's why you got sprinklers, man.
Well, who needs a sprinkler? All you gotta do is all you gotta do is go outside and do anything. Walk to the mail. I mean, dude, I used to walk to the mailbox, freshly showered, clean set of clothes, clean, dry set of clothes, walk to the mailbox, get back in completely soaked.
Yep, gotta take another shower. That's exactly how it is. Yep.
Yes, sir. So hey, what's I see our boy Will Kramer jumped in. And Will Kramer's blocked. I'm just playing. Will Kramer, 1/2, 1/3 of Washington Football Weekly, along with our guy Sean Spencer. Appreciate you joining the show. Let's see what we got going on here. My 2-minute warning. I may have done this one already. And if I have, I'm going to say it again anyway. Take some time to find some joy in the things that you do. If you have a job, and maybe it's just a job just because it's the only thing that you could get. It may not be what you want to be doing, but it's the only thing that was available to you at that time. Try and find a little joy in the job. Maybe if there's somebody at the job that you just spend time talking to while you're at work, if it's a job where you can talk to folks, I just say that because I work for the post office and I was in a truck by myself for 5-6 hours a day. So I really didn't have anybody to talk to. But, if you got somebody there at work that you bond with, just find joy in what you do. And if you start finding joy in what it is that you do, then it makes it easier to do. I have a job that is sometimes it make me pull my hair out. But one of the things about my job that I love is I work with a great group of people. My team is phenomenal. My boss is absolutely awesome. We have some times when we, kind of got to swallow real hard and keep pushing, but not with each other, but we just because of workload stuff. But I love my job, and I love the folks that I work with. And when I did karaoke, I loved doing karaoke, and I met so many. I mean, dude, my co-host that I met him at karaoke. Him and you had just gotten married at that point, if I'm not mistaken, when I met you.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Somewhere around there. But and a roundabout sort of kind of, my other co-hosts from my other podcasts, my wife, at karaoke, met them all at karaoke. So find a little joy in the things that you do, and you would be amazed the jewels and the nuggets that you can find in it. And that's all I got, and I'm done with that.
Well, I want to piggyback on that. I can relate to you totally what you just said, because I work. I have a great boss. I have a couple of people at work that actually, I like to have a casual conversation with. Not that I can talk to about anything. A couple people, But I'm on the phone all day talking to different techs from different. What I enjoy about my job actually is talking to people all up and down the East Coast. Talking to New York, Massachusetts, getting all these different accents and that kind of stuff. And I always picture. I kind of have to laugh when I call somebody or somebody calls in from the Bronx or Brooklyn, New York, and they hear my voice on the other end. But it comes to find out, I mean, it's just I have good relationship with these type of people, and then just the difference in the accents, the difference of people coming to the culture. That's what I enjoy about talking to these different people, different kinds of people on the phone. But I can definitely relate to what you're saying, and it makes my job more enjoyable.
Absolutely. That's a bar right there. Collin P from the DMV with that bar on the piggyback. Boom.
Boom.
I like piggybacks. You know why I like piggybacks? Because they make good baby ribs. What? Oh, Mr. Fingaz with another bar. There it is. The air horn. Man. That one right off the dome right there. That one was mathematic. Oh, there it is. He did it again. Absolutely. Oh, he did it again. All right. I'm gonna stop playing with.
Take it away from me.
I'm gonna stop playing with that before they just remove it from the platform altogether. It's just gonna send me a message saying we got people complaining your whole show is all air horn. I'll be like, you're lucky I'm not a DJ in Miami.
No kidding.
Every 30 seconds. Oh, Pitbull.
No doubt.
I speak no Spanish whatsoever, and that was a horrible impersonation of anybody speaking Spanish. I think this is a good place to shut it down, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We do appreciate you joining us today. We love each and every one of you. We want to thank you for joining us today for today's episode of This Week in SEC Football. Head on over to the YouTube page, Zagnif Productions Zagnif1. The graphic should be right down there, wherever I put it. It's going to be somewhere. Give us a subscribe and tell your friends to come over and subscribe too. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by week 4 of the NCAA season. On behalf of myself and my co-host, the homie, the brother from another mother, sexy mother hub, and Ace of Base in the place in your face. I'm very happy to be here. Collin P from the DMV. We appreciate y'all. We will catch y'all on Monday. Have an awesome weekend. We will see you soon. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.